A young woman stumbled blindly through the muddy, rain-slicked streets of an ancient city, clutching a cold, lifeless bundle tightly against her chest. Her eyes were hollow, wide with a terrifying absolute madness. Her infant child had died that morning, but her mind had completely severed its connection to reality. She refused to accept the finality of the blade. She knocked on every door, begging strangers for medicine to wake her baby up. The neighbors whispered in horror, shutting their windows, declaring her insane. They saw a lunatic. But science sees a brain trapped in an agonizing, cognitive dissonance loop, where the physical reality of a loss is so brutal that the mind builds a fortress of pure denial just to survive the night. Finally, a lone traveler looked into her bleeding heart and whispered, "Go to the forest. There is a physician there who can cure any sickness." She sprinted into the forest, collapsed at the feet of the Buddha, and screamed, "Give me the medicine that will wake my son." The disciples prepared to push the frantic woman away, but the Buddha stopped them. He looked at her with an infinite, terrifying clarity. Then came the first massive twist in her journey. The Buddha did not tell her the child was dead. He did not lecture her on philosophy. Instead, he smiled and said, "I can cure your boy, but I need a single grain of black mustard seed." A rush of manic joy flooded her face. She turned to run, but the Buddha dropped the unexpected condition. The seed must come from a house where no child, no husband, no parent, and no servant has ever died. With hope burning in her chest, she flew back to the city. At the first mansion, she begged, "Do you have a mustard seed?" The owner said, "Of course." But when she asked, "Has anyone ever died in this home?" they wept and replied, "The living are few, but the dead are many." She ran to the next house, then the huts, then the palaces. At every doorway, the answer was identical. One family had lost a daughter, another a father, another a lifelong friend. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in a bloody violet hue, the ultimate realization hit her like a physical blow. She sat by the roadside, watching the city lights flicker and die out in the dark. She realized she was not uniquely cursed. The entire city was a vast, interconnected courtroom of grief. In trying to protect her individual ego, her brain's default mode network had isolated her in a prison of self-pity. But the truth of anicca, the law of absolute, unyielding impermanence, shattered her illusions. She carried the child to the forest burial ground, laid him down, and finally let the tears fall. When you face a catastrophic life change, whether a relationship fractures, trust is shattered, or a dream dies, your brain's survival center activates a state of hyper-reactive panic. You try to fight reality, looping in late-night trials of overthinking, screaming, "Why did this happen to me?" The Buddha's lesson is a masterclass in cognitive behavioral therapy. He did not argue with her madness. He forced her brain to gather fresh data. By seeing that every human being carries their own hidden scar, her logical prefrontal cortex came back online, downregulating her panic and transforming her from a screaming victim into the silent, majestic witness of reality, the Sakshi. You cannot control the storms of change, but you can choose to drop the second arrow of self-blame. Step back into the deep, unmovable space of your own consciousness. If you are ready to drop the trial in your mind today, leave a comment below with the word stillness to signal your commitment. Let's explore this path together. Stay aware